You're not going out to the highways and the byways. That's a lack of faith. You're afraid. The Lord said He didn't give us a spirit of fear. Okay? You have no faith. Just because you know this, you know the truth, doesn't mean anything. You got to fulfill the whole spectrum of being a man of the Lord. It's not just having the truth and you can speak it whenever you want. Especially if you're called, especially if you dealt with the individual. It's different with you're just a hearer, you know, because you got elect that are out there that they're part of that. They're part of that's part of the group where they're just listening and they're rehearsing in their own life, you know. But if you're called by Yahawah by way of a man that is on the highways and the byways, that's showing you, that's taught you, you're supposed to continue doing that. And if you just continue from that, guess what? The Lord ain't with you. It's all in vain. But because you can still utter certain things because you're studying, that doesn't mean nothing, man. All right. It says, "Whereunto I am appointed a preacher and an apostle and a teacher of the Gentiles." You know, and that's why you see brothers on the highways and the byways before a camera, because we are to teach. We are to go from different areas in our city. If the Lord will, you know, if the Lord wills that, we have to be removed. I've been removed here in my city many various times. You know. Says, "For the which cause I also suffer these things. Nevertheless, I am not ashamed." That's right, we're not ashamed. You can't be ashamed. This is part of it. When you go through certain things and you're being tried and tested and you continue to push forward, that is something to be looked at, because the glory of the Lord resteth upon you, man. That you're doing everything to the best of your ability. You're going to the highways and the byways. You're rehearsing the righteous acts in and out of the camera. You're not eating pork. You're not shaving. You're not sleeping with other men's women. You know, you're not stealing. You're not committing robbery. You're not doing all these wicked acts. You're maintaining yourself to the best of your ability according to the scriptures, man. You're teaching. You know, you're being obedient to. Not only to the Most High, but to brothers. Because you got guys out there that are, I just listen to the Lord. I ain't got to listen to you brothers, what you got to say. You know? That's pride in itself. It sucks too, because pride is like a silent, what's the word? I'm going to say like a silent enemy. Creep up on you, man, and you won't even know that he's there. That's why brothers, or even just the scriptures bear witness to it. When you start getting corrected and rebuked, that it starts to manifest itself. And if you fail to repent, you fail to acknowledge that and to get right, ain't brothers gonna be dealing with you. You know, I ain't gonna deal with you. If I sense that you're proud as fuck and you don't give a shit about this truth wholeheartedly, or you don't care about me as being a brother, I ain't gonna deal with you no more, man. I'm gonna continue dealing with brothers that do see me and they appreciate me and they serve Yahawah B'Shem Yahawashi. Those are the ones I'm gonna keep my eye on, just like the Most High would. Most High ain't gonna be keeping his eye on somebody that don't appreciate him, that don't serve him. He's gonna turn his back. The scriptures bear witness to that. You know. It says, "For I know whom I have believed, and I am persuaded that he is able to keep that which I have committed unto him against that day." That's right. So I know who I serve, man. I know who I believe in Yahawah B'Shem Yahawashi. I believe that Yahawashi is a so-called black man, a man of color with woolly hair. I believe in that. I believe that the Most High, the Father, He is the same way. They're identical to each other. Okay? I believe that the Most High is Yahawah the Father and His Son is Yahawah Shai. And He gave His Son the authority and the preeminence above every living thing besides Himself. Even though He sits on His right hand side of His Father, man. You know? I believe in that. You got people out here that don't believe in that. I believe that the Negro, Latinos, and Native American Indians are the Israelites. I believe that we are to be on the highways and the byways. I've been knowing that before I even heard the brothers. You know, but like I said, brothers that watch me, they heard me, they listened to my testimonies, stuff like that. You would know that in my prior videos, before I came into the truth, something would always tell me to go preach, to go out, but I didn't know how to do it because I knew, according to what I would read in the scriptures, that the Lord was basically homeless. He didn't have nowhere to lay his head. He had no pillow. He said that the foxes have holes to go to, but the Son of Man don't. So I was like, man, how can I bear that? And as time went on, it would continue to pound on me. I kept reading, I kept fighting. You know, I was in the world, and I was still, you know, holding certain commandments to not break, like committing adultery, not stealing, you know, shit like that. But then it came to a point where I fell across the brothers. Was it 2008? Man of Jacob. And boom, that was it. 2001, I sent up a prayer. The Lord answered it 7 years later. You know? So I am persuaded of these things. I believe in these things. Somebody that is not persuaded, don't believe in these things, they're not going to continue that long. They're going to start doing their own thing. They're going to be by themselves. They're not going to be part of any kind of, you know, brotherhood and things of that nature. They're just going to be just doing whatever they want to do. Eventually, they're not going to do the work. There's no excuses, man. There's always a way to do something. You know? The Lord's going to let us know when we can't come out to the highways and the byways anymore. You know? That's why in my prior videos I was saying this word is essential. This is something that people should be gravitated to. They ain't gravitated to. They're not seeking truth. They're just still stuck in their own world. They're stuck in their own lives. They have no fear of the Lord. They're just in their mind, they're just hoping. Oh, this is good. Everything comes back. You know, the economy bounces back. Everything opens up. They're full of shit, and then they're over here saying that they believe in the Lord. But the Lord, to believe in the Lord, you know that destruction is coming, man. Right? That's in the scriptures. To believe in the Yahawah Shema Shai, or even to believe in Jesus Christ, right? Just hypothetically speaking, in regards to that name, if you believe in Jesus Christ, you know that you know that destruction is coming. You know what I'm saying? You know an end is coming. So why are these people still wanting this place to bounce back, to come back? Because they're full of shit, man. Point blank, period. 1 Timothy chapter 1, verse 13. Hold fast the form of sound words, which thou hast heard of me, and faith and love which is in Yahawah Mashiach. See, and these guys, people don't want to hold sound faith. They don't want to hold on to sound words. When it comes to this, they don't. Because it's too hard. It's too much for them. They can't do it. They can't deal with it, man. You see? It says, that good thing which was committed unto thee keep by the Holy Spirit which dwelleth in us. What is that good thing? This word, the gospel, man. That's why we're constantly admonishing or, you know, exhorting brothers as we see the day approaching to continue in the faith. Keep fighting, keep pushing, keep going onto the highways and the byways, keep doing what you got to do. Do what is your job description, man. Fulfill the will of the Lord. Because when we get closer to the end, it becomes harder and harder, man. I go through it. You know, I ain't the Superman. You know, I've been, like I said, and I ain't trying to use numbers or shit like that or anything like that. I'm just saying for you know, encouragement or whatever. I've been out here for 10 years. by myself, basically. You know, pretty much. And it was never easy. You know, it was never easy. It was hard. But I had my mind, as Paul said, you have to be persuaded. You know, you have to be persuaded in this thing. These people are persuaded in the world that it's going to continue to go on, bounce back. We have to be that much stronger and confident that the Lord is gonna come back and deliver us and destroy this place to make things better. You know. This is well, you know what? That's something. This is Romans 14:1. One man esteemeth one day above another, another esteemeth every day alike. Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind. Okay? So you have to be fully persuaded, man. Let's look up that word persuade. Let's look up that word persuade real quick. Persuade, to move by agreement, or slaki, to move by argument, entreaty, or expostulation to a belief, position, or course of action, to plead with, urge. I'm gonna look up that word right there real quick. Hang on. Yeah, let me look up that word expostulation. 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 That's how you pronounce it, Salaki. An act or an instance of expostulation. Or expostulating. Expostulation or expostulating. An act or instance. And it says a challenge, complaint, demur, difficulty, exception, fuss, kick, objection, protest, question. Alright, so let's go back to persuade. So to persuade is to move by argument, entreaty, or expostulation to a belief, position, or course of action, to plead with or urge. The synonyms is to argue, bring around, convert, convince, gain, get, induce, move, prevail on or upon, satisfy, talking to, win over. Okay? So to persuade is to basically to have your mind won over to something that you're convinced. So a lot of guys are not convinced of this thing, meaning that they, because we know that the whole sower of the seed, some only thrive for a little bit. And then, the cares of the life choked them up. Could have been fear, could have been just be worrying, or, oh man, I'm tired, I don't want to do this anymore. So you have to be, it says, let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind. You have to be convinced. You have to believe. Holy, that's why the word H or WHOLLY is in there. That means to be fully persuaded, man. You know what? Where's that word holy? I think it might be. Let's see. Yeah. This is 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 11. These things command and teach. Let no man despise thy youth. Be thou an example of the believers in word, in conversation, in charity, in spirit, in faith, in purity. Till I come, give attendance to reading, to exhortation, to doctrine. This is Paul speaking to Timothy. Timotheus, which means honor the Most High. Because Timothy was a young man. He was younger than Paul. Timothy was like a son to Paul under him, that came under him, right? And he was teaching. It says, neglect not the gift that is in thee, which was given thee by prophecy. See, so all this thing, this gift that the Most High gave us, is the gift of prophecy, the gift of to exhortation, to admonish, to rebuke. All right, that's a gift, and you're not to neglect that. With the laying on of the hands of the presbytery, meditate upon these things, give thyself wholly to them, that thy profiting may appear to all. You see? And how is your profiting going to appear to all whenever you ain't doing nothing? That's why you see his brothers on the highways and the byways, because it's written in the scriptures. Now I'm going to look up that word holy, which is spelled W-H-O-L-Y. W-H-O-L-L-Y. It says to be, or Salakia, to the full or entire extent, completely, to the exclusion of other things, solely. You see? So it's to be to the full or to the entire extent, man. To be persuaded, won over. You're fully, the word baptism is to be fully submerged. You have to be fully submerged in this thing, you know, not halfway. That's why the Lord said that he hates a lukewarm person, man. You're halfway in, you're halfway out. It says, I'm going to go back and read that again, 1 Timothy 4:15. Meditate upon these things, give thyself wholly to them, that thy profiting may appear to all. Take heed unto thyself and unto the doctrine. So you're supposed to take heed unto thyself and to the doctrine. Not unto what your woman says or what your job says or what your carnal mind says. You got to take heed unto what the scripture tells you to do. What the scriptures told you, what brothers tell you. And unto the doctrine. That is because of what the doctrine is prescribed. Continue in them, for in doing this thou shalt both save thyself and them that hear thee. If you don't continue, you're not going to be saved, man. See, you're gonna be outcast. The Lord ain't gonna call you up. You're gonna be thinking, why? And the Lord's gonna reveal it to you why, man. That's why it's important. We have to not only fulfill the whole spectrum of being a man of the Lord, you know, as far as doing the work, we also have to consider how we being, man, our conduct. You know. Our spirit, our individual selves, how we deal with certain things, man. That's a fight in itself too. Trying to be the best person you can be, you know. Not just the best person for the job, you know, doing your work, but how are you being towards yourself? How are you being towards other people? You know. It's a hard thing, man. It's not an easy thing. Okay? So I'm going to finish up. Sit on there. So I'm going to finish this one up in 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 20. Where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputer of this world? Had not the Most High made foolish the wisdom of this world? See, the Most High made foolish the wisdom of this world. For after that, in the wisdom of the Most High, the world by wisdom knew not the Most High. See? So, because as I read that one in Sirach, where, you know, a man that is of the world is in his own craft, his mind is in his own craft and his work. How is he going to know wisdom? How is he going to be able to obtain and to retain that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding? If his mind is always just occupied in his craft. That's why it said, for after that in the wisdom of God, the world by wisdom knew not the Most High. Because there's two types of wisdom. There's the wisdom of the world, wisdom of Yahawah by Shemal Washai. You see? And we're not to be ashamed that. We're not to be ashamed of the gospel of Yahawah by Shemal Washai. We are to continue in those things, man. On the things that we are taught. You know? That's what the engrafted word, which is able to save your souls, man. It's what's going to keep you from these pestilences. It's going to keep you from things that a lot of these people are in fear of. If you're maintaining this word, if you maintain with Yahawah by Shemal Washai, you're going to be all right. You're going to be taken care of. Now, if you go outside of that, you're open for game, man, for anything that is unrighteous, that's wicked. You know? It says, for after that in the wisdom of the Most High, the world by wisdom knew not the Most High. It pleased the Most High by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe. So that's why we are on the highways and the byways, because we know that through this foolishness of preaching, we're going to believe. We're going to be able to save those that believe, man. You know? It's not because of who I am or where I've come from. It's because the engrafted word, the word, man. It's the word. It's Yahawah Shai, Yahawah by Shemal Washai. That's it. That's the power. That's the glory. First, James 1:21. It says, wherefore lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receive with meekness the engrafted word, which is able to save your souls. But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. For if any be a hearer of the word, and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass. For he beholdeth himself, and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was. But whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty, and continueth therein, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this man shall be blessed in his deed. That's right. So why do you think that the elders were able to continue for so long? Because they looked into the perfect law of liberty, man. They looked into these things. They diligently sought these things out. They continue to have their mind fixed on this thing, not the world. They maintain themselves in the work of Yahawah by Shemal Washai. That's what has kept us brothers that have been in this thing for 10 years, brothers that have been in this thing 15, 20, 30 years, or even 5 years. You know? Because you have to have that mindset, man. It's not just that mindset. It's about the Lord is putting His will inside you. You have to have the will of the Father in you in order even to do this thing. Because this thing is a righteous thing. This thing is not a thing of wickedness. The scriptures tell you that here in Second Ezra's. This is Second Ezra's chapter 15 and 24. Woe to them that sin and keep not my commandments, saith Yahawah. I will not spare them. Go your way, you children from the power. Defile not my sanctuary. You see, you can't reside in this thing. You'll only continue in it for a short period of time, and then you're done. You know. That's why you're always seeing these old camps, these new camps popping in and out, or they're giving up, or they're continuing for a time, and then they don't hear about them no more. It's because of that very reason, man. You know, they're not continuing because they're not maintaining themselves in sincerity and truth in the engrafted word of the Most High, which is able to save your soul. And it's going to be by way of preaching. It's going to be by way of, there's many things that contribute into the elect being saved, man. Because we know the elect is saved, but the elect are going to be doing certain things and taking heed to certain things in order to continue therein. They're not just going to I don't have to do anything. I ain't got to listen to nobody. I ain't got to listen to you. In the back of their mind, I'm going to do whatever I want. I'm going to go out whenever I want. You know? That's why the brothers say, When somebody, you want to, I've always known that, but the scriptures is bear witness that it's true, and the brothers are true. If you want to know somebody, you got to rebuke them, and you got to really, correct them, and you can start seeing, you'll start seeing them. I've witnessed that, man. I let it go. Let the Lord do His work. The Lord always revealed and always make certain things happen. I ain't got to do nothing. I'll speak, I'll admonish, I'll correct, I'll rebuke a certain amount of times. After that, I'm done. Then the Lord's going to do the rest. You know? Going back to 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 25. Because the fullness of the Most High is wiser than men, and the weakness of the Most High is stronger than men. For ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called. But the Most High had chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. And Yahawah had chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things that are mighty. And the base things of the world and things which are despised hath the Most High chosen, yea, and things which are not, to bring to naught things that are. Right. And that's by way of preaching, casting down strongholds, and it's going to be done by somebody that you don't think is a man of the Lord, that you're like, who the fuck is this guy? Or I know that dude, he was a nigga in the world. I know his family, and they're all pieces of shit. Right? But the Lord's dealing with him. The Lord ain't looking for the world's approval. Nor are we. We ain't looking for nobody's approval except for Yahawah Bashem Al-Washai. We are to love the brotherhood. We are to respect the brotherhood. Don't get it twisted when I say that I ain't looking for nobody's approval, or brothers aren't looking for other people's approval. I'm speaking about the 2/3 of the world. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 1. For yourselves, brethren, know our entrance in unto you, that it was not in vain. But even after that we had suffered before, we were shamefully entreated, as you know, at Philippi. We were bold in our God to speak unto you the gospel of our power with much contention. For our exhortation was not of deceit, nor of uncleanness, nor in guile. But as we were allowed of the Most High to be put in trust with the gospel, even so we speak, not as pleasing men, but the Most High, which trieth our hearts. Because that's where it counts. That's where it counts with the brotherhood and Yahawah Bashem Al-Washai. Nobody else. So we ain't looking for you people's approval. You either believe or you don't. You either gonna do the work or you don't do the work. You can't be both. You can't be hot or cold. You're either hot or cold. You can't be in the middle, lukewarm. And if you're not moved in fear by that, the Lord ain't dealing with you, man. Point blank, period. You're proud, arrogant, and you don't want to do nothing. All right. It says, 1 Thessalonians 2 and 5, for neither at any time use we flattering words, as you know, nor a cloak of covetousness. Yahawah is witness. That's right. So we didn't, I speak for myself. I didn't come out here or speak to certain people with guile or, as I stated, with flattering words. I just declared the truth. Tried the Spirit, fed the Spirit certain little things. That's how I work. That's how the Most High says. It's the same way when you go fish. You're patient, feeding little certain things, or you're trying to to maintain a garden, or even when it comes to cooking, or you're feeding a baby, you don't just give the baby meat, you give them the milk, and then it starts to grow. It's small things, and then boom, you catch them. You get them hooked on it. It's not through deception, as Paul stated, man. It's not through deception. It's not through gimmicks and shit like that. And that's one thing, I don't come close with gimmicks. I come as myself, and what the Most High told me to do, and that's it. And every man, just like Yahawah expects us to strive for perfection. You got people out here saying, we're not perfect, we're never going to be perfect, or we don't have to be perfect. But you believe in the Bible? The Bible says that you have to strive for perfection. You have to strive to be as Yahawah. You have to strive to be as the men of the Lord. What are you talking about? It don't make no damn sense. People say that because they're lazy, man. People say that they don't have to be perfected because they're lazy. They don't want to do nothing. They want to do the bare minimum. They're afraid. They probably know their fuck-ups. I don't know what else. But I know it's all that shit that I just mentioned. It says in 1 Thessalonians 2:6, nor of men sought we glory, neither of you, nor yet of others, when we might have been burdensome as the apostles of Yahushua Mashiach. But we were gentle among you, even as a nurse cherisheth her children. So being affectionately desirous of you, we were willing to have imparted unto you, not the gospel of God only, but also our own souls, because you were dear unto us. So if we do all that, and then you turn your back, what do you think? How do you think a brother's gonna feel? You're gonna be pissed. You're gonna feel a certain way. You know what I'm saying? You ain't just gonna be happy about it. You're gonna be like, damn. Brothers may be sad, some feel like, or they're gonna be pissed off about it. That's why we tell brothers you can't be accepting every single person. You have to seek out your own salvation with fear and trembling, and take care of yourself. It all begins with yourself first. It don't begin with everybody else, then and you're last, or nothing like that. It begins with you, man. Because the world's gonna take you down. Their job is to take you down. Family, it don't matter if it's blood or not blood. You have to worry about yourself. You have to focus on yourself. Work on yourself first. This is Matthew 7:1. Judge not that you be not judged, for with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged, and with what measure you meet, it shall be measured to you again. And why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye,